were driving back from Colorado, and like your car was at the airport, and my car, we drove back in, and we got in a fight right before the airport.
Right.
So you get in the car, and then I went to Chick-fil-A, and I ate all the food, and I got home before you, and I went and hid it in like a bush, the bag.
Did you really?
And then I drove your car the next day. There's those McDonald's bags, and we were trying to hide it from each other.
Welcome to Stuff That We Like / Joy, at least at this point in time. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Christina.
And today,
I'm going to ask Caleb what is something that he likes or enjoys, at least at this point in time.
something I like / enjoy is the question of delayed gratification and if it could be the number one indicator of success.
Delayed gratification being an indicator of success. Wow, I'm fascinated to see where you're going with this.
Yeah. So what do you know about delayed gratification?
I know that like people tend to maybe enjoy a vacation more if they've been planning it for a couple months rather than like, hey, let's go to Mexico tomorrow. That idea of planning and waiting for something can cause more enjoyment, or maybe like I'm going to run a marathon and training for it for 3 months. It could be more rewarding at the end rather than like just going out that day and running for a long time. So I think that's delayed gratification.
Yeah, I think so.
In a sense.
Yeah. Lots of dopamine in the pursuit of something that's far in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that counts. Well, the definition I have here is delayed gratification is the ability to resist the temptation of an immediate reward in favor of later, often greater reward. It's one of the strongest predictors of success in areas like health, finances, education, and relationships.
I was going to say relationships. I could really see that.
Yeah, for sure. How do you see that? Just top of the dome.
Top of the dome.
How do you see that?
I don't know, like when you wait to get together with somebody for like 8 years and then it finally happens.
Yeah.
You're like, woo.
Yeah, what's that movie? It's like, oh no, it's How I Met Your Mother. It's like the moment before the kiss is often better than the kiss. And so in one of the episodes, they don't even kiss. It's just they get close like they're about to, and then they hold off.
Right.
And it's a cheesy comedy show.
Yeah.
But kind of a picture of like something in a relationship that's great. It's like the thought of a kiss in the future.
Yeah.
You know, if you delay it for now and wait for the time that it's right, it's actually better.
Yeah.
So.
I think also in TV shows when it's like the main people don't get together right away, it's like over several seasons. When they finally do, it's more enjoyable than it's like, third episode, Rachel and Ross are together for the next 10 seasons.
Is that what happens in Friends?
What?
They get together the third episode?
No. I was saying that would be not as enjoyable if it's like, okay, well, we lost that plot point.
Absolutely.
You know, they're together instead of back together, not together. It was a break. It wasn't a break.
Yeah.
Marrying other people. You know.
That's a great example. I asked for it and you gave it.
Thank you.
Okay, the history of this topic. And then in the 1960s, Stanford professor Walter Mischel conducted what would become one of the most famous experiments in modern psychology, the marshmallow test.
Oh,
you heard about this?
I have.
Okay. The setup was simple. A child was left alone in a room with a marshmallow and told they could either eat it now or wait 15 minutes and get a second one when the researcher returned. Years later, follow-up studies revealed a powerful trend. The children who waited longer tended to do better across the board in life. Higher SAT scores, lower obesity and addiction rates, stronger coping skills, and more stable relationships.
Wow.
So the conclusion is the ability to delay gratification had a profound connection with long-term success.
I like that. Interesting. So it wasn't just, so in a form like self-control is a form of, what's the term again? Waiting gratification.
Delayed gratification.
Waiting gratification.
Awaiting gratification.
Delayed gratification takes self-control in some scenarios. And those kids were more successful in life because they had ability.
And they followed these kids for like, I think 20 to 30 years.
Wow.
And as they grew, the kids who waited longer for the marshmallow, better success overall in life.
Wow.
You could say happier lives, but I won't because there's I think there's
Be
more things that play
successful and
into
not
that.
happy.
Yeah, exactly. But stronger relationships, better jobs, better financial situations.
Wow. Huh.
So
That's
some
cool.
facts about delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is tied to better decision making, emotional regulation, and long-term planning. I feel like that's pretty obvious.
Can you say those again?
So it's tied to better decision making,
Okay.
emotional regulation, and long-term planning. It probably leads you to be
Yeah.
less impulsive
Yeah.
with the emotional regulation part, which helps you make better decisions about your long-term plans.
Right. Yeah. I think emotional regulation is a big part. Just being able to like control your impulses and like wait.
Yeah, like write the angry letter. Maybe wait a couple days before you
Right.
send the angry letter, and then eventually you don't want to send the angry letter.
Eat the whole pizza or be like, nah.
That's me though. I'll eat the whole pizza.
Well, you are so self-controlled and delayed in all your gratification, and then it just all comes at once.
That's so true. Yeah, the
It's
amount of
probably
times
usually worth it.
maybe sometimes,
Yeah.
but the amount of times we've been at like coffee shops and you're like, I want to get should we get a croissant? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to get a croissant. And like I have the willpower, and it's been weeks of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that night, I'm like, let's get Chicago deep dish and wings and ice cream to top it off. And it's just all down the hole. So you're totally right.
That was like when you were working late the other day and you came home like, oh, do you want me to heat anything up for you? And you're like, oh, no, I got Taco Bell. I'm like, what? I'd wanted us to get pizza today. And you were like, well, I had to get gas for my car, as if like Taco Bell was at the gas station.
Yeah, that was very much so not
out of the pump. The cashier is like, and what would you like tonight?
Yeah, Crunchwrap Supreme.
I love it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Another fact would be that people who delay rewards show more activity in the prefrontal cortex, which is the brain's self-control center. So
Makes sense.
practicing delayed gratification can actually grow that in your
Yeah.
brain.
Okay.
Help you become more
the ability to
self-controlled.
be more self-controlled. Huh. It's just kind of a chicken or the egg situation.
I don't understand that.
What?
What does that mean?
Well, are you self-controlled, more self-controlled, therefore you have the ability to have delayed gratification? Or does delayed gratification lead to being self-controlled? Or are they kind of the same thing?
I think delayed gratification would lead to being self-controlled because there has to be a reward.
Right. But you can't have delayed gratification without self-control. In most cases.
Yeah, yes. Well, can you have self-gratification without... Sorry.
Self-gratification.
We could all have that.
Yeah.
Can you have delayed gratification without self-control? Yeah, I guess, chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Well, I mean, in some cases you might, like I don't know. If does delayed gratification work if it's like not in your own control, in the sense of like you really want to go to the next Taylor Swift concert and it's not until May.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you're looking forward to it. There's a delayed gratification, but that wasn't like out of your own choosing. That's just the first ticket date.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the only thing that I would say is that they're saying that the prefrontal cortex grows as you practice delayed gratification. And so I would think instead of the chicken or egg scenario, since they're saying one comes before the other, it would have to be delayed gratification before that part of your brain grows to self-control or
Makes
to
sense.
control self.
Yeah.
So, but that's a great
Yeah.
little thought experiment there.
Oh, thank you.
Another fact would be that impulsive choices are associated with more activity in the limbic system, which is the brain's reward circuitry. So take that and do with it what you will.
Instant reward.
Here's the crucial part, though. This trait is not fixed. Like we said, you can change your brain. You're not simply born with or without willpower. A critical follow-up study from the University of Rochester challenged the idea that self-control is purely innate. In this version of the experiment, researchers first exposed children to a reliable or unreliable environment. So, in the unreliable group, children were promised better crayons or stickers, but they never received them.
Oh.
In the reliable group, those promises were fulfilled consistently. Then both groups were given the same marshmallow challenge. The results were pretty dramatic. Children in the reliable group waited 4 times longer on average than those in the unreliable group. The conclusion was the children weren't simply displaying individual willpower. They were making logical decisions based on the trustworthiness of their environment.
Mm-hmm.
So if promises had been broken, they had no reason to believe that waiting would bring a reward.
Wow.
This shifted the narrative. Delayed gratification is not only a personal trait, it's something shaped by experience, trust, and repeated exposure to follow through.
Wow. Huh. That's fascinating. So it's not just you're born a certain way, but based on your environment of people following through on what they've said to you, that causes you to be more apt to have self-control and delay gratification.
Yeah. So nature or nurture
Right.
plays a lot into this.
I can see that.
Yeah. So you might have a leg up in life if you had a reliable, stable environment that you grew up with that you could count on.
Yeah.
Whereas if you didn't, you're going to have to do a little bit more work to develop that prefrontal cortex later on in life.
Right. Wow, that's fascinating. Huh, it gives you a bit more compassion for certain people. It's like, they were raised in a environment maybe where they were promised certain things and there wasn't that stability. Therefore, they're like, I'm going to eat the marshmallow now because it might get taken away.
Exactly. That's why I did the Taco Bell, because I was like, if I tell Christina, she'll say no.
Have I ever said no? Have you ever asked me if you can have Taco Bell?
Absolutely not. I've always come to you in shame afterwards.
Yeah, I ate Taco Bell. I had to get gas.
That is something funny we do. We always confess when we ate terrible. It's like, I don't think either one of us has really gotten away with it. I think there was one time I had Taco Bell or McDonald's or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then you happened to drive my car the next day and the trash was still in there.
Well, we were driving back from Colorado and like your car was at the airport and my car we drove back in and we got in a fight right before the airport.
Right.
So you get in the car and then I went to Chick-fil-A and I ate all the food and I got home before you and I went and hid it in like a bush, the bag.
Did you really?
And then I drove your car the next day. There's those McDonald's bags and we were trying to hide it from each other.
Both so desperately wanted to be okay, like better than the other
Chick-fil-A
person.
will fix this.
Yeah.
I can't let them know that I'm upset enough that it drove me to the bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce.
Chick-fil-A, you probably still were healthier than me because Chick-fil-A is better than McDonald's for sure.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Anyway, some practical advice about what to know about delayed gratification and how to use it. You can start small. So if you're building self-discipline, begin with habits that are too easy to fail. So you can write a sentence for the book you want to write. You can do one stretch if you're trying to be more limber and healthy, or you can skip that snack if you're trying to lose the weight or be, like I said, more healthy. Keep promises to yourself is another huge one. So make those tiny commitments and follow through.
Yeah.
Because that simple act builds trust in your own brain.
It's good.
And I feel like this is something that's not talked about enough is what we do to keep ourselves accountable when nobody else is around. I know it's easier for me to go get fast food when you're not around or you don't know what's going on. But those are the moments that really show me how much I live my life with self-discipline and willpower and how much I live my life just so that you can see that I'm doing well. You know? So I think this is a really key point. We have to keep tiny promises to ourselves because that's actually what helps build that prefrontal cortex and reassure that part of our brain that needs to know that we're reliable and that we can do it. We can hold to our disciplines in order to grow in delayed gratification. So keep those small promises. It's very important.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you're creating your own environment of like, just like with the marshmallow experiment with the kids where they reinforce like, if you wait, you will get rewarded. You can create that for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. That's what you're doing.
Regardless of your circumstances. I like that.
Another tip is to use visual streaks. So try something where you can track it daily. to avoid the breaking the chain kind of mentality. Like every time you see an X on the calendar and then you see like a blank space where you messed up, it's kind of depressing. If you hit an X the next day, you're like, oh, I missed it. You know, the chain's broken. It's really helpful to use that visual marker that you're doing well.
I like that.
And that you can build towards delayed gratification. And another one would be to follow the 2-minute rule. So make starting your habit easy so that it feels frictionless. James Clear talks about this in Atomic Habits. So, for example, if you want to read more, just open a book and read a paragraph. Like we said earlier, keep it small. If you want to get fit, like just lace up your shoes. You don't have to put them on. Just lace them up. Honestly, get them ready for when you're ready to put them on. But make it easy, make it frictionless. And I guess in closing, some thoughts as to why I picked this topic.
Yeah.
Like I always thought that discipline was the key to success in life. But really it's discipline linked with belief that the payoff for your hard work will be worth it in the end.
Yeah.
I know myself and I can do all the hard work, but I lose sight of, if I lose sight of what the hard work is for, then I very easily go to Taco Bell. You know, so keeping that goal in front of us is so huge. And I'm great at the discipline part, not so good at keeping that goal in my mind's eye.
Right.
And being like, this is for a reason. I also listen to a lot of podcasts with people who are successful financially and also people who are successful spiritually in ways that I want to be. And they think, or I've heard them talk about the way that they think in decades, not just in like days or weeks or months. And I think that's directly linked to their ability to delay gratification for long periods of time. And this isn't one podcast with one successful person. I haven't listened to a podcast with successful people that hasn't mentioned how they think in like 5, 10, 20 year increments in regards to their return on finances or spiritual growth. And so I think everybody's screaming it, just nobody really puts words to it a lot of the time. So I found that really interesting when I started to read that. I kind of connected the dots. Read about this, I connected the dots. And I also feel, to kind of close this out, that in the Christian life, that's all we're doing is delaying the gratification of hearing, well done, good and faithful servant at the end of our lives. And this whole life is one big discipline unto an eternal reward. And I can't wait to get to that reward, but it's going to take like 80 years, hopefully, 80 to 90 years of a healthy life. But ultimately, I think that's what the Christian life is one big delayed gratification. And at the end, we get that reward. So just a cool insight from...
I love that.
Yeah, from looking into this.
It's cool. I like how choosing small, manageable tasks that you use in order to delay gratification for something is a good first start. And also your perspective of where you want to be 5, 10, 100, thousands of years from now.
Yeah.
I like that.
What do you think about all that?
I think it's good. I think that I practice self-discipline more than delayed gratification, which maybe you could get more into the semantics of the differences. Because like for me, I am very careful with what I eat because my body needs that in order to function properly due to different issues. But that's less like I'm delaying eating Chick-fil-A. It's more like I'm doing self-discipline so that I am not in pain later on. So I don't know. Is that delayed gratification?
I guess unto what?
Feeling better.
Yes. Ultimately, you want to feel normal.
Right.
Completely normal.
So the delayed gratification would be like, I'm going to get instant gratification from eating Chick-fil-A, or the delayed gratification of feeling healthy in 5 years.
That's what I would think.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I think that's an important, just viewing it that way is cool. Yeah. And I think that having goals and setting even like rewards for yourself is great in life.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It makes the journey there not miserable. Like we were talking about today in the car, I want to live the life of a healthy, fit person, but I don't want to be miserable
Right.
like a lot of healthy, fit people.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to find a way to do healthy, fit stuff in an enjoyable way.
Yes.
And that's work.
Yeah.
That's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of delayed gratification because I'm not going to get to my standard of healthy fit until I can live this lifestyle that's difficult long enough to where I can find out how to make it enjoyable.
Yeah.
And still reach my goals.
I like that. Yeah, I think it's kind of like when we did that 100-day challenge a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We did kind of like the 75 hard challenge, but we did it for 100 days and added we did 20 elements. So we ended up doing 12,000 challenges over the period of 100 days.
Daily challenges.
I think we each only missed one out of 12,000.
Yeah.
And we decided at the end of 100 days that that's too long to delay gratification in so many areas. Like we had missed out on eating birthday cake at somebody's birthday or things that were meaningful.
Yeah.
And there should be exceptions for, even if you're pursuing a healthy lifestyle. So I think delayed gratification is good, but not in a masochistic, penance way.
Well, that's my topic.
All right. I love it. Thanks for sharing.
All right, guys, we are having a sticker giveaway until July 16th. It is this one right here. We're going to put it on the screen so you can see it better. But it says No Bad Days, and it's a chicken with its arm in a sling and a coffee cup and an eye patch. We think it's pretty cool. If you want to get in line for that, we have a post about it on our Instagram, Stuff That We Like podcast. And you can check out the details of what you need to do to apply for that. So check it out. It's ending July 16th. So don't forget, get in there while you can.
And we've also recently launched a newsletter. It's kind of a compilation of different interests of ours, and it's called All the Stuff. And it's something that you can sign up for on Instagram as well in our link tree in the account. So there's information on that. And that will be ongoing past July 16th. So
yeah,
sign up. It's just fun.
Eventually it's going to cost something. So if you don't sign up now,
8 cents.
You'll have to pay.
We drive a hard bargain.
We'll see what we make it cost. But sign up now. You never have to pay.
Once we hit those thousands of subscribers,
absolutely.
Get a couple extra bucks in there.
Yeah. Maybe 30, 40 bucks. Do you apply?
Oh my gosh. I would never pay that to read what somebody's thoughts are.
Hey, don't cheapen the product.
Oh, yes. It's wonderful. It's worth all the money.
Go.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Now back to your programming. Next on this podcast, we like to head over to a right angle of the room and visit Conspiracy Corner.
Conspiracy Corner.
Christina's got a conspiracy. She's going to propose to me today. Christina, take it away.
Yeah, this is the last episode of our season 5, where we focused on different conspiracies. So I just, saved up a real big one for you all. And that is the government cheese conspiracy.
All right, give it to me.
So the claim is the U.S. government is trying to get us to eat more cheese. So my question to you is the U.S. government trying to get us to eat more cheese?
This is probably the first time I've heard about this. It's maybe the second time. So I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to give you the case for the claim, and you can pop in with different thoughts and comments. But first of all, do you know what government cheese is?
I assume it's some kind of dairy product.
Made by the government.
Yeah.
Great. Cheese, government, together. That's all we need. Okay. So in 1949, about 75 years ago, the U.S. government established a dairy price support system. And the goal of this support system was to stabilize dairy farms' incomes and prevent a market crash due to overproduction. Farming in general is not a extremely profitable business in many forms. Therefore, the government helps farmers because we need food. And as a result, they were having a problem in the 40s, 50s, 60s with dairy farms maybe producing a lot of milk. And then the grocery store is like, we don't really need this much milk. And so they're like, well, we got to throw away the milk. Or consumers were like, oh, we don't really want to pay $2 a gallon. We'll get it for $1 down the road. And so there was just a big mismatch. And it was there was more dairy than need. And so farmers went out of business, dairy farms. And the U.S. government was like, we can't have this. We need our dairy farmers for when there is a greater need for milk. And so the government set a minimum price that milk could be bought for by companies and grocery stores. So they said you have to pay farmers at least this much per gallon. So it just kept the price even across the board. And then the government said, we will buy any extra milk you have, because they wanted to make sure dairy farms were still producing enough milk and not having to throw away extra milk. So because of this, the government bought a lot of milk.
Okay.
And milk has a short shelf life, so they decided to turn all this extra milk into cheese.
So I was right.
Yes.
Hey, nice.
Thus, government cheese was born. Government cheese was typically a processed blend, very similar to Velveeta, made from cheddar and other cheeses. It was designed to have a long shelf life and very easy to store. And it was made in large, unmarked blocks of 5 pounds. Just big old blocks of cheese.
It's a big block.
Yeah.
It's a baby-sized block.
And it was known for its distinct taste and texture, described as creamy, mild, and slightly tangy. Just as you want your 5-pound blocks of cheese to be. The government then has all this cheese, so what do they do with it? They start distributing it for free to low-income families on welfare programs, to food banks, and to public schools. So they would send food banks, big blocks of welfare cheese, government cheese, welfare programs, etc. But the government couldn't give away too much cheese for free, because then people would stop buying cheese from the grocery store if they're able to go to a food bank or they're receiving it all through their welfare program. Then that would also affect farmers, because there's less of a demand for cheese. So the government started to stockpile all their extra cheese. And by the 1890s, the government had stockpiled over 500 million pounds of cheese in warehouses across the country.
Jeez, man.
500 million pounds.
Whew.
I wish I'd figured out like an equivalent of like how much that is.
Yeah. Same as 500 million pounds of elephants.
How much does an elephant weigh? 4,000 pounds?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Anyways, it's a lot of cheese.
It's a lot of cheese, man.
And the cheese was stored in 150 warehouses across 35 states. So we got a lot of cheese banks. And the cost alone to keep these warehouses running was $200 billion a year.
Oh,
so just to have
dang.
the warehouses have refrigerators and run. One of these warehouses, which is what got me interested in this topic, was in underground man-made caves here in Kansas City. Under Kansas City, there's a bunch of limestone caves that have been dug out where there's different storage facilities, and they stored millions of pounds of cheese under Kansas City in these limestone caves. And these caves are still used today to store cheese and milk. But by the end of the 1990s, the government cheese program began to be phased out, with the government instead offering grants and subsidies to farmers, like we'll just give you tax breaks and financial benefits, rather than buying up an excessive amount of milk. So during this 50-year-ish program, the government spent tens of billions of dollars on purchasing extra milk. I say tens of billions because I couldn't find an exact number, but it could be up in the 50s of billions.
Wow.
Because we know that it took $2 billion a year just to store it. And that's not counting them buying the milk from the farmers, the cost of turning it into cheese, the cost of storing it, and then distributing it to schools and programs. So could have been easily in the 40, 50, 60 billions of dollars.
That's so much.
It's a lot of cheese. Around the end of the government cheese program, the Got Milk campaign was launched in 1993. Are you familiar with the Got Milk campaign?
Definitely.
All right. You want to explain to our listener what the Got Milk campaign was?
Yeah, it was about drinking more milk. You get that milk mustache.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was an ad campaign that lasted for a little over 15 years, where there was posters and ads of primarily celebrities, athletes, well-known people, actors with a very distinct milk mustache, much wider than any actual glass of milk could cause.
Yeah.
And the big words, "Got Milk." And so this ad campaign was aimed to boost milk consumption due to declining sales because people started drinking soft drinks and bottled water. Bottled water was kind of a new thing. which shows you how much milk people must have been drinking before. I don't know.
Yeah.
And this Got Milk campaign was funded by dairy farmers with the help of the government, kind of pushing this message that drinking a lot of milk was healthy for you and it should be drunk daily and not just with breakfast, like every meal, glass of milk. And this helped support the idea that milk and other dairy products were good for you. And this campaign, as I mentioned, ran for a little over 15 years before it started fading out in the 2010s. But even after the end of the government cheese program and the Got Milk campaign, there was still a lot of extra cheese. In 2016 alone, there was a 1.2 billion pound surplus of cheese alone in the United States. So just extra cheese.
Jeez.
And as of 2024, the USDA reported that there's now 1.4 billion pounds of cheese in cold storage across the U.S. This isn't owned just by the government, but by private companies like Kraft and Dairy Farmers of America, not just the government, but 1.4 billion pounds of just cheese in storage throughout the United States. About 300 million pounds of that is owned by the government. So about a quarter of that cheese, which is still a significant amount.
That's a lot.
And to this day, the government is still highly involved in getting Americans to eat cheese and drink milk. And this is through several different kind of strategies. One is through the form of the USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture. And they're the ones who create the food recommendation program pyramid. I'm sure you've seen it growing up. Which is updated every 5 years. And the latest food pyramid recommends that Americans consume at least 3 servings of milk, cheese, or yogurt each day as part of a healthy diet. So ideally having some form of dairy at every meal.
Dang.
The USDA also oversees Dairy Management Incorporated, and this is an organization that partners with restaurants and food companies to help promote using more dairy on their menus. For example, the Dairy Management Incorporation collaborates with fast food chains like Domino's and Taco Bell to develop cheese-heavy menu items. So think of Domino's 4-cheese pizza with stuffed cheese crust, or Taco Bell's cheesy gordito crunch with a quesalupo, quesalupa
Oh, you're making me so
on the
hungry.
side. So items that have cheese with cheese in them, and then in the crust and more cheese. Just lots of cheese.
Yeah.
Dip it in nacho sauce. So this organization kind of helps get more dairy usage throughout throughout menus. And although the official government cheese program ended, as I mentioned, about 25 years ago, the U.S. government still does purchase a significant amount of dairy for school, breakfast, and lunch programs. So school breakfast and lunch programs are subsidized or paid for by the U.S. government to like a public school where you might get breakfast before school starts and then lunch, and some even have after school programs as well. And in order for the school to get refunded for the cost of the meal, milk is required to be offered at every single meal.
Whoa.
Lunch, breakfast, or dinner.
Are you serious?
Yes, it's a requirement that milk is offered.
By the way, you say milk so fun.
Milk. Milk. And on top of that, at least 2 different milk options must be offered each day. Therefore, chocolate milk is often included to help increase consumption.
Chocolate milk slaps, though.
Yeah, so there is a strategy behind, that's why you're offered milk at school lunch programs, is they are required to, and so you're kind of ingraining, I feel, in people that, you have milk with breakfast and then a glass of milk with lunch and then one with dinner.
Ingraining it into our brains while we're draining it into our toilets because it makes me poopy.
Wow, that's very clever, baby. Coming up with new words today.
I know, go for it. Sorry.
And on top of that, some states or school food programs require that the student takes a bottle of milk at each meal in order to get the government to pay it back. So like summer meal programs, you are required to take that glass of milk. You don't have to drink it, but you have to take it. The only exception would be that if a student has a physical disability, such as a milk allergy, and if that student is eligible for non-dairy milk substitutes, they have to provide a medical statement and have it be on file that little Robert does not have to take that bottle of chocolate milk.
Robert F. Kennedy, right?
Definitely. He was fed a lot of milk. That's why he died early, yes. And also, if a child is vegan, schools could offer a nutritionally equivalent substitute, but only if requested in writing by a parent or a medical authority. Therefore, you have to go through some effort to not be required to take your bottle of milk.
That's considered a disability now?
Yeah. A milk allergy
Lactose
is considered a
intolerant?
disability.
Man, you can apply for a handicap sticker. Just use that.
It's so sad what's considered disability. It really devalues those who actually struggle with things.
Oh, for sure.
School food programs are also required to serve meat at each meal, but dairy is allowed to count as meat.
Huh.
So schools will offer yogurt instead of bacon for breakfast or a grilled cheese sandwich instead of lunch meat. Therefore, you often find at least 2 servings of dairy at each meal. So a little bit of statistic data as we wrap up. As of 2022, Americans consume on average 130 pounds of dairy each year, primarily in the form of cheese. This equates to eating almost an entire bag of shredded cheese each day.
Oh my God.
So an 8-ounce bag, about 6.5 ounces would be considered average each day. This number is higher for children, primarily due to school programs. So those 18 and under consume about 40 to 50 pounds more than the average adult.
It's a lot.
And cheese consumption has risen dramatically in the last 20 years. Americans now eat 30% more cheese each year than they did 20 years ago.
Jeez.
So here's my final question. Is the U.S. government trying to get us to eat more cheese?
For sure. Yeah. Which is, it's smart on their end because they're running it like a business. They want to get rid of this product, and so they're pushing the product. The thing is, your clients are an entire nation you're supposed to be taking care of.
Right.
And cheese is not helping. It's not helping anybody.
Yeah.
There's very few properties in cheese that are actually, especially government cheese,
Yes.
what they're giving.
Velveeta.
Yes. Velveeta slaps.
Or chocolate milk.
I'm gonna be open. Real quick side note: I love Velveeta. I put ground beef in some Velveeta with a can of tomatoes and chilies. Oh, that's the best.
You haven't done that in 8 years.
I haven't done it in 8 years. I would eat it tomorrow.
Eat it tonight.
Yeah,
Do it.
in secret. Yes, but to push that on an entire nation because you want to make money off of it, because you made a decision to have that bought to save dairy farmers, I just think that that's a consequence you got to deal with, and you can't force your entire nation to, well, not necessarily force, but sell it to an entire nation because you have a surplus of it.
Right.
So I think that's kind of slimy.
Yeah.
But more than anything, I'm just surprised we have so much cheese in caves around here.
Right.
I've been to the caves in Kansas City. My dad had a friend who worked out of there, and they're really cold all year long, so it's perfect for holding that cheese. But also, who's gonna look in a cave for cheese? That stuff's gonna be safe forever. That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think government's definitely pushing cheese.
Yeah.
Which is another euphemism for pooping.
Oh.
Gotta go push some cheese.
Did you make this up just now? Okay, I was like, I've not heard this one.
Push the government cheese, if you will. What about you?
Yes, I obviously think the government is trying to get us to eat more cheese. I think my little tie-in with the Got Milk campaign as well, to get people to drink more milk, to normalize it. Did I do an episode early on milk?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's largely evil and very unhealthy for you and can lead to a lot of problems, especially with the amount of hormones and stuff that are pumped into the cows that then are milked every single day for the entirety of their lives, who die early, who have tumors and diseases and pus in the milk. Therefore, I'm not a fan of dairy in general, but I found it fascinating, especially with the food programs for schools, that you are required to serve milk.
It's messed up.
And although not required, to have some form of dairy also in what they eat.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're just indoctrinating a culture that this is good and healthy for you when in most cases it's not.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could see some people still getting behind, well, a glass of milk's good for you because of the protein or whatever. But cheese really is not good for you. I think that that'd be hard to argue. It might be good for you in the way it tastes, but eating that much cheese every day for your whole life, it's not a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my cheese conspiracy.
Love it.
The biggest and
It's
best
very
of the
true.
season. Very nice.
Nice.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to this next part of the podcast where it's called myth stuff.
Myth time.
Myth time. So, babe, do you have a myth related to your topic of delayed gratification?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
Cool. That was me a couple weeks ago. I have one about cheese.
Do you really?
I do.
Good for you. Let's do that.
So apparently there's a myth out there that cheese
Apparently.
caves, that cheese caves are secret government bunkers. So the origin of this myth is that the use of limestone caves in places like Kansas City for storing government cheese is that they're actually secret stockpiles or bunkers for the government. And so the truth is that caves like those in Kansas City are commercial storage facilities and not secret bunkers, that the USDA has used them since the 1980s for surplus dairy, and today they're mostly used by private companies like Kraft or Dairy Farmers of America. So conclusively, nothing shady going on in those caves.
Seems like good cover, though.
There we go.
Myth busted. Very cool. Next on this podcast, we like to do recommends to the audience. Babe, what's something you recommend?
I would recommend, I was trying to think, I might have recommended this in the past, but I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
Stretching each night before
yeah.
bed. I have been practicing the habit of stretching for just like 5-10 minutes before bed each night, within an hour before bed. And this has helped me sleep better and be in less pain. It is a form of self-discipline because right before bed is the last time that you want to often roll out your yoga mat and get on the floor and stretch your legs out. But I would highly recommend it for people.
Get out there and stretch.
Yep.
Do the splits.
Maybe not that. I mean, unless you're
splits.
able.
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm getting there.
All right.
I'm going to do it.
No, you're not.
Yes,
Are you
I am.
really?
I'm trying.
I don't think as an adult you can get there.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show all of you.
You're like a before and after.
I'm going to do the splits. I promise you I will do the splits. I'm making that promise right
Which
now.
way?
Straight, right and left, baby. East and west.
Wow.
I'm going deep, too. I'm getting good. I've got progress. I got measurables.
Awesome. Do you have a recommend for our listeners?
My recommend is to do something tough right when you wake up because it makes the rest of your day a lot better.
I love that.
Do 100 push-ups. Do 25 body squats. Whatever you think is difficult, do it right when you wake up. And then you got the hard thing out of the way for the rest of the day. The rest of the day seems super easy.
Okay.
Yeah?
It's a good philosophy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lastly, on this podcast, I'd like to ask people to follow us on Spotify or podcasts. You can follow Christina on Instagram
That's See Joyfully.
Christina also has a show segment we started doing on Fridays called Stuff You Missed, so keep a lookout for that. You can find me on Instagram at Caleb C. Media. I shoot video. I write music. You can find my music on Spotify at Caleb Castaneda. You can also contact me if you need either of those things. You can look at this podcast on Instagram at
Stuff That We Like podcast.
Yes. And you can DM us and also get entered into our sticker giveaway or sign up for our newsletter that comes out bi-weekly.
Newsletter.
Woo-hoo. We also have a video and podcast company that helps us showcase churches in Kansas City and the U.S. We just got done these last 2 weeks freaking working hard on some podcasts for that company. So they're going to be coming out and launching next month. We hope. So keep a lookout for that. The company is called
Moodwave Media.
And if you want to get your pastor or leader of your Christian nonprofit on our podcast to let us know about how cool your ministry is and why people should go there or why people should support you, then contact us at
moodwavemedia@gmail.com.
And if you want to contact us personally at this on this podcast, you can sign up. Actually, you could just email us at
Stuff That We Like podcast
at gmail.com.
There we go.
That's all we got today, people. You want to take us out?
Well, this has been Stuff That We Like /enjoy, at least this point in time, and we'll see you next time.